Well, you can see how actors can make a mess of a perfectly good script.
Exactly.
And that was the first take. You have to do it 3 or 4
Can I
times.
tell a quick story?
Yeah.
You know, because it deals with table reads. And I was reading for a pilot, I got a pilot for a new series. And a friend of mine and we were together on it. And Monday we went in for the table read. Tuesday we were back, there were replacements on the table. Wednesday there were another replacements.
Other
Thursday-
actors, you mean?
Both.
For a series.
Yeah.
So Thursday, there's another replacement, and Friday was the table read with the permanent cast.
Wow.
The pilot didn't sell, it did go into a series, but my friend went on to another series called Breaking Bad. Bryan Cranston.
So that was a fine example of a table read.
It was.
Great, so does anybody have questions for our actors? Yes.
So whenever you're doing like the first table read, do y'all try to portray like your actors' voices, or do you just kind of do it yourself the first time and then kind of work in your actors' voices after?
Good question. How do you know
Yeah.
what the voice
I
is?
basically try and do it in what I think the character is.
Yeah.
You know, for a lot of, particularly, if, for example, you've been hired on the basis of your audition, and what you did in that audition, you have a pretty clear idea of what voice they're looking for, I would think. So you kind of do that, I would think. Would you guys agree? So you know, and these things as are all open for corrections. You know, this is your first crack at something, and somebody, the director or somebody else might say, you know, that's good. Try it a little bit differently this way. You know, that sort of thing. So you're just experimenting in some ways.
Well, the table read is for the writers and producers, and they start making changes right after the table read. It's a whole new script the next day.
I'm a little different take. My take is, if you're the guest star, you better deliver. Like, if you're just visiting, because they will fire you, as that story goes. So you bring it. And it's interesting because the regulars on the show,
You're talking about particularly a sitcom.
it's rare to do a table read of a 1 hour. It happens, but it's not as common. But I would still bring it, because if you half-ass it, you'll be gone on Tuesday. And they will. And what's interesting is the regulars have job security, so they've maybe looked at the script. So you're trying to figure out your rhythm, because you've got a whole thing you're doing, and they're like, I don't know where I am on this script. Halving, you know, they'll do half a line. So yeah, it's definitely a pressure.
JD was on 2.5 Men with Charlie Sheen, so
Yeah.
he has the perspective of the guest star
Yeah.
compared to the regulars.
Yes.
Who have it down.
Hypothetically, somebody who might not have looked at the script
Yeah.
on his flight from Vegas.
I have a quick comment about that. When you may have noticed, I speak really quickly, and I'm from the South, and so I don't remember the table read. I don't remember if we did one, but I worked painstakingly to slow my speech, to change my cadence, and to try best I could to speak a little more authority about some of the more scientific elements of the character, you know, about which I knew very little, you know, a week's worth of study. But that was actually hard work for me, because I lowered my voice, tried to, Steve's looking at me like, did you really try?
So are you trying to hide an accent?
Yeah, I'm from the South. I rarely am cast as a Southerner, so it's always a challenge for me, and especially speaking slowly, but also with authority. So for me, I just don't remember the table read, but the act of doing was a lot of work for me.
Glenn, could we take a moment to introduce these two fine actors?
Yes,
Fine local
please.
actors who
Thank you.
joined us. These are folks from the local area, so please.
I'm Angela Wilson, and I'm from Albuquerque.
And she has red hair, just like Heather. I love that.
Great
And
job.
I'm very Southern, and I can't hide it. I'm so sorry.
Did you get to do Breaking Bad?
No.
But I watched every one of them.
My name is Rick Vargas. I've been in New Mexico for about 10, 12 years. I'm from Chicago. When I do work, this is always fun. So.
Thank you for helping us
And
out.
Yes.
I'm from Texas.
Thank you.
some of our regular folks couldn't be here, are from the original series, so we're thrilled to have you here helping us out. Thank you very
We're
much.
glad
No,
to be
really, you
here.
did a great job. Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's
Great.
Any questions? Right over here.
So I'm not sure who can answer this guy, but Mr. Wilson yesterday talked about when Tremors 1 came out, it didn't really open at the box office.
Correct.
At what point was there enough success somehow that all of a sudden there's gonna be a sequel?
Well,
That was made for y'all by y'all,
Steve,
right?
Steve Wilson is here, so perhaps he can answer that.
I was just gonna say, this is all you, bud.
A good 5 or 6 years later, when I got the call from Nancy Roberts, one of the producers, who you may have seen on the documentary this morning, who said, "Michael, are you ready for this? Are you sitting down?" I said, "What?" She said, "I think we're gonna do another Tremors." I said, "You have got to be kidding." You know, because it had been 5 years, 5 or 6 years, and I
longer
thought,
than
it's
that, yeah.
dead. It's
Yeah,
dead.
it was
Are
dead.
you kidding me? What are you
Tremors
kidding?
came out, and it was a big disappointment. The studio, called me the Monday morning with the box office and said, "Well, we blew it. That's it." And we forgot all about it. We went on with our careers for years. And unbeknownst to us, the market for rental videotapes was slowly building its momentum. And that's why they called us. It was the video division that called and said, "Hey, we want Tremors 2. We got to have Tremors 2." And we go, "Why?" And they said, "Because Tremors 1 is huge in video. Huge." Really? So that's what happened. It was a surprise to us too.
So you see, the choices you make with your dollars influences the bean counters.
Yeah,
at
I mean,
Universal or any
literally,
other
it was
studio.
those VHS sales. Show business is 95% business, 5% show.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah, I was surprised as hell to hear this, and thrilled because, of course, I love Bert, and as you'll see if you watch Tremors 2 tonight, that's where they really took Bert to a whole different level. Why? Well, because Valentine McGee did not reappear, and Earl kind of needed a sidekick, and we needed to redo it, and so I always considered Bert an ancillary role, but a fun part of the big ensemble. But then it boosted him up by the fact that other people were not showing up.
Well, yeah, that is what happened. We flew to New York and asked Kevin if he would be in it. The studio wanted Kevin back, but Kevin was disappointed in the movie. He was disappointed in the box office. He did not feel good about it. He said to us, he was very, very pleasant. Don't get me wrong, he was a wonderful guy to work with, super professional. We never even knew that he was disappointed in the movie. and he said to us, "Guys, I'm going to work on getting smaller parts, weirder parts. I'm not feeling good about my role as a leading man." And when they talk to me about this movie, they don't say, "Kevin, you're so cool." They say, "Those monsters are so cool." And that's how an actor looks at it,
He felt overshadowed by the effects.
So we didn't have Kevin, we didn't have Reba. She was off doing another movie. So we had to write in a divorce for Bert, and everything grew from there.
And I'm gonna say, in my defense, I wasn't there because I was doing all the research and all the studies that were as a result of the Grab Boys.
Yeah, well, we felt you were off with Kevin after that wonderful kiss.
After that kiss, you had to be off with him somewhere.
And I was sick when I heard this because I got killed.
But you never know what's gonna turn to a big thing.
Absolutely
You never
not.
You don't know.
It was manna from heaven,
You
that's
can
why-
go in there with one line and who knows? This could be our big break.
I hope it is.
It would be a pleasure.
Question over here.
So when you know that a sequel's coming, what comes first, the casting or the writing? Because
The question, when do we know a sequel is coming? What comes first? The green light, the casting, what's the sequence?
Or the writing.
Steve, you can best.
I'm not supposed to be on the.
Why don't you just take my seat?
I was gonna say, there's one over there. Yeah.
Then I can.
I'm trying to enjoy all of our wonderful
Yeah.
people. I'm excited for the rest of the day too. Well, what happens is, if they greenlight a sequel, you first work on the story. Brent and I, that's our big concern: is do we have a story? Is it something we want to get behind and work on? That even happened with Short Circuit over many years before this. And the casting goes hand in hand because you're going to bring back as many characters as you can. And then the question is, are they willing to come back? And then the writing has to change again if they're not willing to come back. So there's a version of Tremors 2 that has huge scenes with Heather in it before we knew Reba wasn't going to be able to do it.
You directed Short Circuit?
No, we wrote it.
You wrote it?
Yeah.
That's so awesome.
Does anybody know who Steve is?
That was our big break.
That's
We've
awesome.
been knocking around for 10 years, handing out scripts on street corners. And a friend of a friend knew a producer who was looking for any script with a robot in it.
Oh, really?
It was one of those days.
Yeah.
So I'm literally walking around in a grocery store and get a call that says, they want you at MGM. I don't know how I got the call, because we didn't have cell phones. It was a
have
store
pagers
employee. My wife knew I was at the
Carrier
store.
pigeon?
Something like that. And they said, they want you at MGM. I was, what do you mean? Well, that guy that said he was looking for any script with a robot in it, he's a producer at MGM and he wants you to meet. So from there, in a very, very short time, John Badham was directing the movie. It was the fastest production start ever. And everybody warned us it will never happen again, and they were right.
Such a great movie. Such a great movie.
And Steve directed tonight's movie, Tremors 2.
Wrote and
Yeah.
directed.
Greatest direct-to-video sequel of all time.
Like my performance or the film, blame him.
Question right here.
When is number 8 coming out?
Well, as most of you, I think, have heard my announcement. The one thing that has happened is we do have the rights back to our original script for Tremors. That's good news and marginal news. Universal still owns all their movies. They own all the other movies and all the other scripts. We do not have the rights to Shriekers. We do not have the rights to F-Blasters. If we wanted to, we could remake our movie right now if somebody would pay for that. So but this only happened in the last 3 months or so. So we're in the process of trying to figure out what can we accomplish. And the lawyer who got the rights back for us is a powerful guy in that universe. He's the one that he was behind the movie Prey, where they rebooted Predator. And he would like us to do that with Tremors. The first thing he said to us is, just do it with Indians in 1500. And we said, well, we're not sure that's what we should do. I think people might be looking for some of the cast to come back. So we don't know
Robert James.
if studios are interested, what they're willing to pay for. And then the other big wild card is Universal still holds all the foreign rights. So if Universal doesn't license us the foreign rights, we're dead in the water. So.
Steve, would you clarify something? Somebody said to me tonight after your speech last night, they said, Steve said, we have the rights to the original movie. And somebody said to me at the bar at Knuckles, well, you're not just going to remake the original movie, are you? You have the rights to that because it was so good. A remake would just be horrible. So clarify that, would you?
Yeah, that's our feeling too. So what is the point of remaking Tremors?
So yeah, you won't get a remake of the original film.
That is correct.
You have the rights to the characters.
We have the rights to everything in the script. The
Right.
graboids, the characters. And,
Page 1 to page end.
Yeah, and and like I say, it's sort of good news, bad news. Yes, you don't want to remake a movie that has become a classic. What is the point? But what do? You know, some kind of reboot. Yes, you could do Prey.
Bert's great grandma. Yeah.
Question up here.
Yeah.
Where's the rights issue right now with maybe like books or comics or another series?
Yeah, other things.
Well, you know, we're looking into that too. We don't know. I mean, as far as I know, we can license anything we want. You know, it's driven us crazy for 35 years that Universal never so much as made a graboid or licensed anything. And I've been answering fan questions on the Stampede website for years and years, saying all you can do is talk to Universal. I can't help you. I don't own anything. I don't control anything. And they. So we are actually going to talk to a friend of ours who's Leela Lee, who was on the series, and she's a powerhouse of generating her own material with her clothing line and pocketbook line and Angry Girls comics. And we're going to ask her about what's the small world, the narrow world of licensing. There's a fellow who just wrote to me who wants to make a Tremors pinball machine. Can I license that? I'm not sure yet. So we'll find out. If you see one for sale, then maybe we do.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
to come back to the table read acting portion of it,
Yes.
you get so into characters after so much time spending with them, or even just a single character that you've done once. Do you ever find yourselves later on, after the role is completed, doing things like maybe Bert searching into one of your pockets looking for something that's not there? Like Michael, does anyone do that? Just little nuances from your characters later on after the show's done?
Sometimes you find a sort of physical response that's sort of automatic. Yeah, after you've done something, and you know, I will say, one of the nice things about doing, I guess I'm veering away a little bit from your question, is that there's so many times when I'll do something, either a film or TV or whatever, and I think, oh, I wish I'd done something a little differently. You know, I'll look at it, and I'm afraid to look at it. I just say, "Oh, Michael, what were you thinking? Or why did they do that take? You know, that was not your best work." I rarely feel that about these. I don't know. We're so much on the same page, I think, with Brent and Steve and Ron or whoever's directing, and that I feel as if all of that has been worked out. That we're doing the best we can with what we got. We're giving it a good shot. So rarely do I come to these afterwards and say, "Oh, I wish they'd done it differently. That was so bad. That didn't work as well as it should."
Yeah.
It all seems so right.
Well, we believe in preparation. We believe in having as much solved in advance. We do storyboards. We design the action. And then we love sitting down with the actors, starting with the table read and getting as much time as we can to agree on what the character is. And usually for us, it's funny to hear Finn talk about how much she changed her way of talking. I don't remember it that way. I only see it now in the sense of when I watch the movie and then I see your Southern personality coming out here. How much acting you were doing. It felt so natural to us at the time.
But back to the original question, though, I'm forever going like this.
Yeah.
It's the only thing I have left in that movie.
You know, to add to that, I personally hate to watch myself after I've done a job because I can see changes, but then sometimes I'll watch it and I'll go, "Yeah, you got it."
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah, how do you all feel about that? Watching yourself on
I hate
screen.
to watch myself.
You hate it.
I'm the same way.
I have to do self-tapes for auditions now. Almost all auditions now
right.
are in my garage, which is great. I'm pro it. I am, because I don't have to drive to Hollywood, and you can do a billion takes and make it look effortless after 8 hours. So I have to watch all those takes. And it's hard. I don't know how much I'm critiquing myself too much and how much it's just right. Because, you're watching, you're looking for the perfect take.
Well, you're making your own directorial decision.
Yeah. It's a bit of a challenge. So, but I think the longer I've done it, it's been about 2-3 years now, the more I'm able to sort of distance myself from it.
It's a different skill you've had to develop.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Lighting, sound.
That sounds. I'm not in the business anymore. It just sounds impossible to me because I really prided myself on being really good at first read. It was instinctive. It was immediate. And if I understood the character, I had it. Call back. Now we're in trouble. That's why I was doing so much research and stuff for the role because I was like, oh no. Now I have to know something. Right? When at first it was just instinct. Yeah.
I will tell you, talk about seeing yourself. I have a film that's out now, on demand, in which I play an ancillary role.
Chosen Family.
Yeah. I haven't seen it yet, because I'm afraid to look at it.
It's on streaming.
That feeling.
Yeah, it's streaming somewhere. It's on demand, and I played, help me out, what's her name?
Heather Graham.
Heather Graham's father in this thing. And it's on demand right now, and I haven't looked at it because I thought, I don't know, I'm afraid to see what I don't know. I'm hesitant to look at it myself. And I'd like to, because I'd like to write Heather an email and say, hey, good job, honey, but I haven't seen it at all yet. It's been out for a couple of weeks.
Question right here.
Yeah, what's the story behind that? I mean, maybe you were involved with it. The series that was going to come out with Kevin Bacon back, and was it going to be related at all to the Burt Gummerverse? or was it going to be its own thing?
It was going to be its own thing. They mistakenly called us when they started thinking about doing that series and said, "Did you want to meet about it?" We said, "Sure, Tremors series, great." Then when our agent called to make that meeting, they said, "Ooh, that was a mistake. Sorry, we do not want to talk to you at all."
Let me can I fill in?
Oop.
Because I did they call you?
Well, yeah, it was, we don't want you involved at all.
Yeah, right. And they didn't want Bert involved at all.
That's
So here's what I heard. And again, this is one person's. I talked to the person who had done, produced 5, 6, and 7 at Universal. It was a section of Universal called Universal 1440, which is basically home video. And they said, "You'll never guess what happened." I said, "What?" They said, "Kevin Bacon is making a new Tremors." I said, "What the hell are you talking about?"
You weren't sure.
Universal is so big that one division of this huge corporate group did not talk to the people who've been making these sequels, and said, "Oh, he gave permission to Kevin to make another whole thing, irregardless of what had been done for the last couple sequels." And so they made a deal to sell him permission to, yes, go ahead, build perfection, revisit your character, and remake it as much as you want. And I can just tell you this: the people at the home video division who've been making these sequels were like so pissed off. It's like one part of our company is not even talking. One division is not even talking to the other division. They've sold the rights, as if we've been doing nothing here for the past couple of years with these sequels. And to them, it felt like, well, I'll just tell you what they told me. They said, "What is Kevin doing? A vanity project here? He doesn't want anybody back." I mean, they were pissed off. Not so much at Kevin. You know, you do what you can. You try and get what you can do. They were pissed off at the other division of Universal, who seemed to have ignored what they had been doing for the longest time.
Can I say something to make you feel better? I've actually spoken to Andrew Miller, who's the writer for the pilot, and he specifically said that with like corporate bullshit and everything and all that, like it was really hard, but he was going to do everything he could to make sure the Gummers could be in that series as it went on. So it was all of that absolute craziness that you were talking about. Andrew Miller and then Vincenzo Natali like wanted you guys there. But with everything happening there behind the scenes, it may or may not have happened. But the intention, at least with those guys on the set, was they did want you. Producers and such, I don't know, but those two exactly. So I wanted you to feel good about it.
I don't know what Kevin wanted, but one of the great things about the original was it was a great community. And so not to bring that community together, those who were still alive, you know, Miguel and this, that, and the other, you know, bring those characters back. Charlotte, who played
Nancy Sterngood.
Nancy Sterngood, yeah, was still alive, and it's like, well, that was a great community. Why not bring those citizens of that, as opposed to replacing everybody and just having Kevin alone? I thought it was a missed opportunity for Kevin, because he could still be the lead, but surround himself with all these ancillary characters. And make a long story short, Sci-Fi made the pilot and then said, "We don't want it." So that was the end of it.
Can we get this guy's question? He's been holding his hand.
Oh, Colton.
I wanted a question from all of you guys on a scale of 1 to 10. How do you think you guys did on the table reading? Because I
I love you, Colton.
Today's read or the original one?
Today.
He wants to know
How we did today? I'll give you an honest
Is
answer.
1 bad and 10 good?
10's always good, right?
Okay.
Do you want
Conrad.
You want me to go first?
Well, I thought we did fine.
No. This
Number.
is an individual number.
Yep.
How you personally, how did you do?
I'm going to give it a 10.
Okay.
Honestly, also, my son does this. You're not allowed to say 7. Like whenever he asks something, he says you can't say 7. So you got to go either way. I'm gonna say 6.
Ooh.
7.
I think we did the best we could with what we got. I'd say I'd give us an 8.
Well, you know, the accent, I got Heather's accent mixed up with Kathy, so I can't give myself a 10, but I'm gonna give myself a 10.
Yeah.
No, you were just wonderful.
I'm gonna, based on the Spanish that I never use, 8.
I'm gonna give you a 10.
Yeah.
Because I just wanted an answer from everybody. I think you all did a 10.
Aw, you're the best, dude.
This guy's my new press agent.
Wait, is your name Theo? Wait, no.
Colton.
Colton, that's right. Thank you,
Colton.
Thank you, Colton.
You're welcome.
Okay, if you were to make an 8th Tremors movie, and I know this was Universal's doing of killing Burt Gummer off, do you, in your opinion, believe that Burt Gummer faked his death?
Well, I will give you my personal opinion that Burt did not fake his death, but that Burt is still alive. That you never saw a corpse. They all assumed the worst. They saw he'd lost the hat, and they had themselves a little ceremony there. But we never saw the remains, did we?
No. I can't
So
see a corpse ever dying.
no. There's remember he's been eaten by a graboid once and survived.
Right.
One of the few people to have done that. And in some ways, he could have been coughed up. He's bad meat to a graboid. I think it would have left a bad taste in even a graboid's mouth.
See, I want to be coughed back out. I go, what the hell was that?
Did you have all your guns on you so that...
Yeah, I think I did.
No, you had no guns. You had a machete. That was it.
Oh, okay,
Yep.
that's right. Yeah, so I may not have. I could have cut my way out.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna wrap it up.
This guy.
Hold on.
One last question.
Oh, since we didn't see the body, is Burt hiding from the tax man?
If I know Bert, he's just hiding from civilization. Period. Remember, they had to go a long way to find him. He wanted nothing to do with anybody, which is why he had gone to that remote island. He was just, he wanted a Robinson Crusoe deal there. So Bert is just trying to stay away. But every time I think I've got away, they drag him back.
Thank you all.
Thank you.